The Galactic Council had prepared for everything when humanity first reached the stars. They had protocols for aggressive species, contingencies for technological primitives, and established procedures for civilizations that might pose existential threats. What they hadn't prepared for was a species that collected flowers from planets that could kill gods. Ambassador Zethkari of the Hegemony watched through the observation deck's reinforced transparasteel as the human transport ship Dandelion Dreams approached the quarantined world of Keth Prime. Even from orbit, the planet's surface writhed with bioluminescent storms of carnivorous flora, atmospheric acid rain that could dissolve starship hulls, and gravitational anomalies that had claimed 17 previous survey vessels. "They're really going down there," whispered his aide, tentacles quivering with barely contained terror. The humans had volunteered for this mission with the same casual enthusiasm most species reserve for a pleasant vacation. When the Council had explained that Keth Prime was a Class 2 Deathworld, the highest possible rating on the lethality scale, the human representative had simply asked if they should pack extra snacks. Captain Sarah Chen's voice crackled through the comm system, cheerful and unhurried. "Council Station, this is Dandelion Dreams. Beginning descent to surface coordinates. The kids are really excited about this one. Apparently Keth Prime has some unique photosynthetic adaptations they want to study for their school project." Zethkari's chromatophores flashed alarm patterns. The children were going down there. Human offspring, barely past their larval stage, descending to a planet that had been deemed too dangerous for the galaxy's most elite military forces. The transport disappeared into Keth Prime's roiling atmosphere, and the council chamber fell silent except for the nervous clicking of various species' anxiety responses. For 6 hours they waited. Long-range sensors showed nothing but the planet's usual chaos of lethal weather patterns and predatory ecosystem activity. Then the comm crackled to life again. "Council Station, this is Tommy Chen, age 12. We found the coolest flowers. They're like crystalline structures that sing in harmonics when the acid rain hits them. My sister Maya figured out they're actually colonial organisms that use sound waves to communicate across the continental shelf. We're bringing samples back, don't worry, we asked them permission first." A child's voice, casual, excited, completely unaware that they had just made peaceful contact with a hive mind species that had dissolved 3 previous xenobiology teams. Also, continued a different young voice, "We made friends with the gravity worms. Turns out they're not aggressive at all. They just have really bad depth perception because they navigate by gravitational fields instead of light. We taught them a game kind of like hopscotch but with dimensional folding. They're really good at it." The gravitational anomalies weren't anomalies at all. They were a native species that humanity's children had somehow befriended through play. Over the following weeks, reports filtered back from Keth Prime that defied everything the galaxy understood about Deathworld survival. The human children had not only survived but thrived, turning the planet's lethal ecosystem into what they described as the best playground ever. They had discovered that the carnivorous plants responded to specific musical frequencies and had spent an afternoon teaching them Earth folk songs. The acid rain, it turned out, was perfectly safe if you knew to request passage from the atmospheric consciousness, something the children had intuited within hours of arrival. The predatory mists that had stalked and consumed previous expeditions simply wanted to play hide-and-seek. "How?" Zethkari finally asked Captain Chen during their next communication. "How do your offspring survive where our greatest warriors perish?" Chen's laugh was warm and genuine. "You know what the difference is, Ambassador? Your warriors come here expecting to fight. They see everything as a threat to be eliminated or a resource to be exploited. But kids see everything as a potential friend. They approach the universe with curiosity instead of fear, with open hands instead of closed fists." The transport returned to orbit 3 weeks later, its cargo holds filled not with weapons or strategic resources, but with carefully tended gardens. The children had convinced dozens of Keth Prime's native species to contribute seeds, spores, and symbiotic organisms to what they called the galaxy's first interspecies botanical exchange program. As Zethkari watched, the human children carefully transplant a singing crystal flower into the Council Station's central garden. He realized something profound had shifted in the galaxy's understanding of power. For millennia, the strong had been defined by their ability to destroy, to conquer, to instill fear in others. But these small humans had done something far more remarkable. They had transformed a Deathworld into a garden through nothing more than friendship and genuine care. They had looked at the galaxy's most feared planet and seen not a monster to be slain, but a misunderstood friend to be embraced. Young Maya Chen looked up at him with bright, curious eyes as she adjusted the crystal flower's nutrient solution. Ambassador Zethkari, would you like to help feed the harmony vines? They really like it when different species sing to them together. It helps them understand that the universe is bigger than any one world. As Zethkari found himself humming alongside a human child and a sentient plant from a Deathworld, he understood why the galaxy's perspective on humanity was shifting so rapidly. These weren't conquerors or warriors in the traditional sense. They were something far more dangerous to the old order. They were gardeners of possibility, children who saw potential for friendship in the darkest corners of space. And in a universe that had forgotten how to dream, that was the most revolutionary force of all.